As the new year's approaching, I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about habits, specifically about how you can finally keep the promises you will make to yourself in 2019. I will also explain it to you what went wrong so many times in the past when you wanted to reach a new goal in terms of your health, career, social life, and so on. So stick around if you want to learn more. James Clear is an expert in building habits, and his new book, Atomic Habits, is already on the New York Times bestsellers list for a good reason. The first thing that you need to know is that habits are mental shortcuts for a recurring problem that you repeated so many times that it became automatic. Think about it. Do you ever make a conscious decision about which shoe you tie first or how you brush your teeth? I hope not, because that would mean that your energy is depleted by the time you reach breakfast. And the second thing is that habits compound. James Clear argues that if you just improve 1% every day, you'll end up 37 times better by the end of the year. Forget about overnight success. Success is the product of small improvements that you make on a daily basis. Okay, but how do we build those habits? There are 4 stages of every habit building process: cue, craving, response, and reward. Whenever you build a habit, you go through these 4 stages. Let me give you an example. I start every morning with a coffee. How did that happen? Cue. I woke up and I'm sleepy. Craving. I want to feel awake. This is the problem phase. And what is my solution? Response. I make a cup of coffee. And reward? The smell of freshly brewed coffee immediately signals to me that I can start the day now. James Clear argues that without all of these steps, the behavior will not occur. So we need to be aware of this process if we want a new habit to stick or if we want to break bad ones. The only problem is that bad habits offer an outcome that feels good immediately, but feels bad in the long run, while good ones have the opposite effect. Alright, now that we know this, I will tell you one more key insight before we get to the how. This is the part that really blew me away. So here it goes. I mentioned in my previous video that goals are important. However, goals alone are not enough. Let's assume you made a New Year's resolution to lose some weight next year by going to the gym. 1 month in, busting your ass, you don't see any results. So you miss one day and miss another. By the end of March, you only go every once in a while, but not on a regular basis. So what happened? This happened to me so many times until my friend Sarah introduced me to the rule of showing up. Instead of setting weight loss as a goal, I should focus on showing up at the gym 3 times per week. The problem with the goal-oriented mindset is that it leads to a yo-yo effect. My goal was to lose weight, but since the result didn't come immediately, I went back to my old habits. James Clear brings up the example of marathon running. If running a marathon is the goal, what happens after you've finished? You either pick a new marathon to run or cross it off of your bucket list and hang up your running shoes. As James Clear says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Instead of focusing on the marathon, which is the goal, we should focus on becoming a runner, which is the identity. This is how we achieve long-term change. James Clear identifies 3 layers of behavior change. Outcomes. This is when you decide to clean up your desks so that you can be more productive. But soon after, you will end up with a messy desk again. The next layer is processes. This is about changing your processes and systems. This happens when you implement a new routine of cleaning up your desk every evening before going to bed. This one is much more effective than the first one, but the aim is to reach the 3rd layer, which is the identity. This one is about changing your beliefs. Focus on who you wish to become instead of who you are right now. Change happens when you change your beliefs about yourself. For example, I used to drink at parties and social gatherings as a way for me to loosen up. But as my husband and I switched to a healthy diet, started exercising more, step by step, my belief changed. I identified myself as someone who pays attention to her health, and drinking at all of the social gatherings, which for a college student is at least 3 to 4 times a week, didn't fit into that picture. Also, I learned that I didn't need to drink to relax and have fun. So the goal in my case wasn't to resist drinking, but to become someone who's health conscious. Or the goal is not to read, but to become a reader. Our identity is formed by our habits and conditioned through our experiences. Even the word identity comes from Latin, which basically translates to repeated beingness. The key takeaway is that we change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. As Peter Drucker used to say, tell me what you value, and I might believe you, but show me your calendar and your bank statement, and I'll show you what you really value. So now that you know all this, we can move on to the 4 laws of behavior change, which will help you build those good habits for the new year. First, make it obvious. Second, make it attractive. Third, make it easy. And fourth, make it satisfying. Remember the 4 steps to building a habit? The 4 laws by James Clear apply to those steps. Make it obvious applies to the cue. Make it attractive to the craving. Make it easy to the response, and make it obvious to the reward. So let's say you want to read more. You can put the book on your bed in the morning. It is obvious as you see the book right before going to bed. It is attractive to cozy up in bed with a book in your hand. It is easy as you reduce the friction of going to the shelf first to take the book that you want to read. It is satisfying as every time you read, you see the progress as the bookmark is moving toward the end of the book. My 2 favorite strategies from the book for building new habits are habit stacking and implementation intention. Here's how these work. Habit stacking is the strategy of adding a new habit to an already existing habit. For example, you already have the habit of waking up, making a cup of coffee, getting ready for work. Now, you can stack a new habit, for example journaling, between waking up and making coffee to create a cue for the new habit. Implementation intention, on the other hand, is a plan that you make beforehand about when and where you will act. Here's the formula. When situation X arises, I will perform response Y. I will, behavior, at, time, in, location. For example, I wanted to email James Clear about my intention to animate his book, but it's a scary thing to do. So using the implementation intention, I wrote down the date, time, and place for emailing him. It looked like this. At 4 p.m. on November 4th, 2018, I'll send an email to James Clear at my desk. Using the 5-second rule, when it was time to act, I actually did it, and to my surprise, he even wrote me back and gave me the green light. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is how to break a bad habit. Simple. Invert the 4 laws of behavior change by first, making it invisible, second, making it unattractive, third, making it difficult, and fourth, making it unsatisfying. For example, while writing his book, James Clear asked his assistant to reset his social media passwords every Monday and send him the new passwords on Friday, so he could work during the week without interruptions. You can ask a friend to do the same for you, or you can use apps like To-Do Book, which blocks your news feed on Facebook, so you can still use your messages and groups without wasting a lot of time mindlessly scrolling down your newsfeed. This book is packed with so much useful information and practical examples, and I was barely able to scratch the surface with this video. So if you'd like to learn more about habit building, definitely check out the book. You can find a link to it in the description. If you'd like the audiobook version, which he reads himself, you can get it for free with an Audible trial below. My name is Sophie, and I hope you enjoyed today's video on making incremental changes in your life to make your desired habits stick. Don't forget that without a good system, you're set out for disaster. Let me know down in the comments below what habits you're struggling with to break, or which habits you'd like to build in the future. I'll try to give you some advice, but I'm not an expert. Good luck with your goals, and if you like this video, don't forget to leave me a like and to subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.